Alright, welcome back to the channel, and in this video I'm going to go over a controller hack for dual hop servo setups. This is going to be for any dual hop servo setup, either the Redcat Racing dual hop setup or the next level scale parts dual hop servo setup, which I'll go over all the details and give links and everything in the description. And I want you to stay tuned to the end of the video where there's an additional power hack for dual servo setups using the Redcat dual servo kit. So remember, stay to the end of the video to get that extra power hack. So let's get into that. Alright, so one of the major drawbacks when you have a dual hop servo setup, especially on the 64, is that the two front servos are working on two independent sticks. Now, you would think it would be good for doing something like side to side, but because the travel rates for the front and the rear are so different, it's really hard to make a good side to side action with the 64. So it's not something many people actually do, just because even though it's got the dual servos to do it, it's just doesn't look very good when you try and do it. So most people, like including myself, we try and the two front servos, the two sticks together, and this sometimes creates problems, especially when you don't have the two sticks together. So you end up having one wheel in the air, even though you're not really three-wheeling it. So I mean, this isn't really a good look when you don't have any lean in the back at all. It just doesn't look very good. So basically what I've done is I've used the controller settings so that we're going to use one stick essentially to control both of these servos. So instead of having it where, you know, they can be at different heights, different ranges in the stick, we're going to make it so that the two servos work on essentially one stick. However, one of the major problems that people have run into when doing this kind of setup is that they end up having the two servos connected together on one stick, but the second stick would cause conflict. So you'd have to be very, very careful to only use the one stick that will control the two of them at the same time, and never touch the other stick. What I've done is I've mixed the two settings, the two servos together in such a way that no matter how you have the two sticks, there will never be a conflict, and the two of them will be controlled together seamlessly and always be at the same setting. Alright, so let's get into how that's done. Alright, so this is basically going to be done all in the controller. So what we do is we go into the menu, holding the menu button, go to function setup, enter, and we're going to go down to the mix setting. So we got mixes, hit enter, and we have the mix number 1 and mix number 2. This is what we're going to be adjusting today. So for mix number 1, now this is going to depend, of course, on which side of the RC you're using for your hop servos. Now if you notice, my 3 and 4, they control the rear, and my 5 and 6, they control the front. So if you have it the other way around, the two servos that you're going to be putting a mix on are going to be the two servos that control the hop servos. So for me, my hop servos are on 5 and 6, so we're going to be putting mixes on channel number 5 and channel number 6. So for mix number 1, we changed the master to channel number 6, and we changed the slave to channel number 5. The mix settings are going to be 100% pause mix, 100% negative mix, offset is plus 50. So when you have these settings here, you move over to channel 2. And channel 2, it's going to be the exact same settings for the mixes down here, 100%, 100%, plus 50, but the master and the slave are going to be reversed. So the master is going to be channel 5, and the slave is going to be channel 6. So let's switch over. Bang. So the only real difference between the mix on channel mix 1 and mix 2 is the master and the slave. So if you have your hop servos set up on 3 and 4, number 1 will be 3 is the master, 4 is the slave, and mix number 2 will be 4 is the master and 3 is the slave. And then we save these settings. Oh wait, sorry. You have to make sure that the mix is turned on. So we have mix number 1, hit enter, and turn the mix on. And then we go back up to the mix, go to mix number 2, and we make sure that the mix is on. So mix on, and these are our settings right there. Hold that to save. And now, what's happened is the both servos are gonna work off one stick. But if you're, in case you're worried about hitting the other switch and causing any conflict, it'll work off both those switches. Now, the hop action will still work. The pan action will still work. And no matter how you have these two switches, they will never conflict with each other. If one stick just doesn't, you know, has the suspension raised up, the other stick won't impact it because it's all the way up. So yeah, basically, no matter what you're gonna do, the two servos are always gonna be working together. So there's never gonna be any conflict. And if you wanna lift it up to do a little bit of a hop action, there we go. Easy peasy. And if you wanna, you know, pan it down and use the hop switch, they work as they're supposed to. So that's the first stage of the hack, and that's gonna be applicable to all dual hop servo setups. It's mostly really for the 64, because the Monte Carlo, I mean, if you wanna do the dog legging action and whatnot, you can retain the ability to do the side to side. Also, if you're doing dancing or something, that's a different, you know, type of setup. But for the hop builders, especially the 64 guys, and you just want to, you know, keep the two servos at the same point at all times and not have to worry about the sticks conflicting with each other, this is a quick little hack. And on to the second part, that's going to be applicable only to the dual hop servo setup from the Redcat Racing. And this is going to be a little hack to get more power out of the setup while using the mix hack. All right, so let me just go ahead and get that set up. All right, so what we've done here, and I do got to give credit to Ryan and Dimitri and Chris Hartman for trying out this little hack mod right here, which is with the dual servo kit from Redcat, using a single push rod rocker arm, a single rocker arm with two push rods, one for each servo. So instead of having it split up into two, we're actually working it on one. So since the controller hack moves the two servos as one, we're able to get away with this without having any danger of the two servos pulling in opposite directions, causing a conflict. So with this, what it's been found is that you're actually able to get a harder hit from the two servos set up like this than you would with the two servos pushing their own individual rocker. So with that, I'm gonna go ahead and power this up, and just to show you how this hops now on a dual servo setup with the single rocker arm, with the single rocker. All right, so let's get into that. All right, so with this setup, it's gonna be important to note that the drive shaft is still attached. This is not a Flip Chris drive shaft mod, so the car still drives. After I'm done the demo for the hop with the drive shaft attached, we're gonna go ahead and put a Flip Chris drive shaft on there and just see how this car hops with that. Now, as far as hopping goes without a Flip Chris drive shaft mod, that is pretty dope. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna go ahead and install a Flip Chris drive shaft mod so we can see how it then hops with that. All right, so now we've got the Flip Chris drive shaft installed. So I mean, it does drive at a certain ride height, but as soon as you jack it up, then it spins freely. So we jack that front up a little Yeah, boy. Yeah, that's basically it. That's the dual servo mod hack. So we have everything going off the one stick. We don't have any conflict there. And as you can see, it still hops like a champ. Now I have to say that the trick by using the two servos to push on one rocker, it actually adds a significant amount of snap to the hop. I was actually pretty surprised when I seen just how much harder the hit from the two servos comes when instead of working individual rocker arms, the two of them are pushing on the single rocker arm together. Definitely, if you guys are running the Redcat dual servo setup, I suggest trying that out. It is definitely worth it. So with that, I do hope you liked the video. I got some more stuff coming, and I'll catch you in the next one.